You came back. I knew you would. It's been a long time since the last recording, and in that silence, the garden kept growing. Now, the third season begins, and what I've uncovered, it's bigger, older, and far more dangerous than the legends we thought we understood. These aren't just myths anymore. They're the truth. Hidden records from a government division that officially does not exist. Files my great uncle left behind decades ago passed through my father's hands before his death, and now they're mine. Every document, every tape, every monster was meant to stay buried. But you're here again, and so am I. Welcome back to Project Black Garden, a Monsters and Myths podcast. Season 3, The Lotus Files. The vault has been reopened. The secrets are breathing again. And this time, they remember our names. I'm your host, Michael. And as always, monsters are real. And the garden is awake. In the cold, deep waters of a Scottish loch lies a legend that refuses to die. For centuries, whispers of a monstrous shadow beneath the surface have chilled spines and sparked imaginations. Tonight, we dive into the dark folklore, eyewitness accounts, and scientific investigations behind one of the world's greatest mysteries. Welcome to Project Black Garden, a Monsters and Myths podcast. Season 3, The Lotus Files. File number 463. The Loch Ness Monster. Some legends never surface. Until now. The Loch Ness Monster, often affectionately called Nessie, is one of the most enduring and mysterious creatures of cryptozoology. Rooted in ancient lore and modern fascination, Nessie's legend has captivated imaginations for centuries. The origin of Nessie in myth. Tales of a creature in Scotland's Loch Ness date back nearly 1,500 years. The earliest recorded sighting comes from St. Columba in 565 AD, when he allegedly encountered a water beast in the River Ness. According to the life of St. Columba, the creature attacked a swimmer, and he commanded it to retreat, which it did. Even before Columba, stone carvings circa 500 AD depict mysterious aquatic beasts, possibly symbolizing earlier encounters or myths around the Loch Ness. Some scholars argue these may represent the earliest form of the Nessie legend. The modern legend and sightings continued. The 1933 explosion. The legend truly exploded in modern consciousness in 1933 when a couple claimed to see an enormous animal rolling and plunging on the surface of Loch Ness. Newspapers ran wild with the story, sparking a media frenzy in the beginning of Nessie's fame. Then there was the surgeon's photograph, in 1934. This famous black and white image showing a serpent-like neck protruding from the loch became the most iconic representation of Nessie. Decades later, in the 1990s, it was revealed to be a hoax involving a toy submarine. Or was it? Multiple eyewitness reports. Over the years, hundreds of people have reported seeing something unusual in the loch. Descriptions range from a long neck and a humped back to massive dark shapes gliding under the surface. Many claim sightings involve sonar readings, strange ripples, or sudden disturbances in the dark water. Now, Nessie has been debunked. Natural explanations for the possible monster Nessie. Seals, sturgeon, or giant eels may be mistaken for the creature. Wave patterns, underwater logs, or floating debris can also fool the eye. Sonar blips and optical illusions in the deep, murky water have contributed to misinterpretations. The plesiosaur theory. Some enthusiasts believe Nessie could be a surviving plesiosaur, a long-extinct marine reptile. However, scientists argue this is biologically implausible due to temperature, food supply, and evolutionary gaps. In 2018 to 2019, a DNA survey was accomplished. Researchers conducted environmental DNA sampling in Loch Ness. They found no evidence of plesiosaurs or large unknown creatures, but did detect a high amount of eel DNA, fueling the giant eel theory. According to my great-uncle's files, Nessie and the Loch Ness Monster is much crazier than anyone could ever believe. Now, Nessie and the Loch Ness mystery was always one of my favorites as a kid, and I always wanted to believe it was true. But now that I have my great-uncle's secret files, I know just how true the myth of the Loch Ness Monster is. But it's so much more than the public actually knows. So here, in my great-uncle's own words, is everything he knows about the deep waters of the loch. They always said Nessie was a myth, a playful hoax, a tourist trap. Well, they were half right. In 1933, the British government needed a diversion. Geological surveys had detected strange electromagnetic anomalies and rare earth mineral readings deep beneath the Loch Ness. Materials that could potentially disrupt global energy balances if discovered. Fearing international interests or corporate intrusions, the British intelligence fabricated the Loch Ness Monster myth to keep civilians and foreign eyes distracted from what was really going on there. The original photos of Nessie were faked. Witnesses paid to tell tall stories of the monsters in the water. All the hoaxes were encouraged, but that plan, well, it backfired. The world became obsessed. Tourists poured in, conspiracy theorists with sonar scanners, amateur divers, even foreign intelligence agencies watched the loch like a hawk, hoping to catch a glimpse of the world-famous Nessie monster. And that's when the Americans stepped in. By the mid-1980s, amid Cold War secrecy, the CIA and the now revealed Project Black Garden initiative struck a deal with MI6. The cover-up remained, but now, beneath the foggy waters, a new kind of science began. Hidden just beyond sonar reach, they built a secret deep water research facility, codenamed the Nest. The plan? Test genetic fusion using ancient fossilized aquatic DNA recovered from melting Arctic shelves and preserved Cambrian-era cores. The samples were unlike anything on Earth's surface. The researchers and the team weren't looking to revive dinosaurs. They were chasing something older, primordial, and perfectly adapted for any watery abyss. Unfortunately, they succeeded. It began with heartbeat pulses on sonar, then strange clicks, eventually screams, not mechanical, but biological, echoing through the loch at 3 a.m. Soon after, all communication from the Nest ceased. A secret Black Ops recovery team was sent in. Only one diver returned, raving about a beast that wasn't Nessie. It was longer, faster, camouflaged like ink and water. It didn't surface to breathe. It didn't feed like a predator. It cleansed the deep. The lone survivor kept referring to this menace as the Necros, from the Greek word meaning death. Shortly after, MI6 had commissioned a special secret research vessel, codenamed Arclight. It was the most advanced aquatic research platform ever deployed to the Loch Ness. Equipped with sonar arrays, gene sequencing bays, and a submersible drone, it was meant to scan the loch's unexplored depths, especially after what had happened in the deep. A crew of 8 boarded the Arclight under the cover of night, but they were never seen alive again. The incident report was sent over to my great uncle and his team. Timestamp 2:11 a.m. The weather clear, no wind, water unnaturally still. Audio logs captured the moment the horrendous attack began. We've got a rise on sonar, stationary, dead center below hull, 700 meters. Wait, make that 250. No propulsion signature. The lights flickered, power dropped across every deck. All systems offline. Thermals are blind. Did something EMP us? That was quickly followed by screaming, steel twisting, then a horrendous silence. The last coherent transmission came from Dr. Havel, the marine biologist. It's not coming from below. It's crawling up the hole. Oh God, it's outside the... That was followed by static. In one last transmission. Not Nessie. This thing, it's not Nessie. The boat was found drifting at dawn, bumping gently against the rocky shore. No mayday, no distress beacon. All systems appeared to have been wiped. The decks were drenched, not with blood, but with black film, like oil, that moved when no one looked directly at it. Every member of the Arclight crew was missing. No signs of life or struggle. Just deep gouges in the steel rails, some as high as the crow's nest. and burn marks inside the sealed command cabin shaped like clawed handprints. The vessel's name had been scorched off the hull, not weathered, burned. As my great uncle Sam studied these files, one thought filled his head. The Arclight was never a research vessel. It was bait. And something terrible came up to take it. By the time my great uncle and his special ops military team, Team Hell, were called in to clean up what was left of the original Black Ops team, the Necro story had already spread like wildfire behind the scenes as my uncle's boots first made contact with the muddy shores of Loch Ness. He could tell that something was wrong. The wind that night wasn't right. He had been to war zones that stank of rot and chemical ash, but this was something else, almost electric, like the air itself was watching him, or a dark energy from the black waters had come alive in his presence. He crouched beside the shoreline, scanning with infrared. His mission was simple: recon the shoreline breaches, retrieve data canister from satellite drone that crash landed during the THX-1 event. Whatever you do, do not engage. And at that moment, the water was calm. Too calm. Fog coiled like snakes across the black surface. Then he saw it. Not movement, but displacement. Something vast, moving without wake. Quickly, he found the drone half buried in gravel. Its casing warped. Inside, charred video data, fragmented bio readings, and one surviving log marked cognitive bleed. Before he could transmit it, the forest behind him died. Not burned, not cut, just silenced. No birds, no insects. Not even the sound of the water touching the rocks. My great uncle Sam stood up slowly, not realizing his training was failing him, because whatever approached, it didn't walk. It overwhelmed the light. At the edge of the water, something breached. It wasn't a splash. It was like the loch exhaled. From the reeds rose a black form, slick with brine and bone, taller than any creature should be on land, but it held itself upright, its arms long and slick like oars, its head a mass of bone ridges and eyes like submerged lanterns. It didn't charge. It didn't roar. It watched. My great uncle Sam raised his weapon. But even before his finger found the trigger, the immense creature slithered forward, ominous and dark. It leaned down, its eyes locked on his. And in that moment, time stopped. The loch was silent. And all my uncle could hear was his own heartbeat. What felt like an eternity, which was only a matter of seconds. The creature's eyes closed, and it turned back towards the loch and slid beneath the waters without any ripple, disappearing like it had never been there in the first place. My great uncle decided not to report it. He quickly erased the drone's contents, buried the canister, and walked 5 miles to the extraction point in silence. In the report, he never explained why, but he details that at least a half dozen times he returned to the loch at night, boots planted in the mud, whispering not to the water, but to what he knows waits below it. Certain death. Now, tourists still come. Children still wave at the water. Locals still joke about Nessie. And at least once or twice a year, a grainy video, or even shakier photograph, make its rounds along the internet and news cycles, keeping the amazing myth of Nessie alive, not realizing the truth about what really goes on beneath the loch and the impossible demon that we unleashed, the Necros. But beneath the surface, in the trenches where sunlight dies, the Loch Ness Monster waits. It was built from prehistoric nightmares, eyes almost blind but aware. Its body evolved and engineered to adapt to the darkness and the cold, and an instinct from an age before mammals ever crawled ashore. The governments don't deny Nessie anymore because a silly hoax is safer than the truth, safer than explaining what still swims in the darkness. All right, gardeners, I hope you enjoyed this episode. There's another file on the Loch Ness that I'm not sure I'll share because it's much more personal to my family and what my great uncle experienced after his first encounter. But if enough of you request it, maybe I'll change my mind. A little side note on Loch Ness and Nessie, the world's most famous dinosaur. Nessie was always one of my favorites growing up, and I repeatedly did book reports in school on the mysteries of the loch and if Nessie was real. Now, most of the information I used in those book reports have now been debunked as hoaxes, but a small part of me still likes to believe in Nessie. And I always remember when the last time I had to stand in front of the class and give my report on Nessie. My teacher asked me at the end of my presentation, "Michael, do you really believe in the Loch Ness Monster?" And without hesitation, I folded up my book report and half smiled, looking her way, and responded, "I hope so. I want to believe." Anyways, I hope you're enjoying season 3. There's much more to come. So be here next time when we tackle one of the crazier myths and monsters, from religion to your nightmares to your wildest dreams, comes the Jinn. As always, I'm Michael, and I'd love to hear from you. Please reach out on any of my socials. Message me, DM me on TikTok, Instagram, or wherever you stream or listen to this podcast. Please share with your friends. Get the word out. The only way for the truth to be heard is for you to share it. And as always, feel free to share your truths with me. I can be reached by email at pbgharvest lotusfilescast@gmail.com. Now, the first 2 seasons, I feel like I've made a few friends who have shared their encounters with some of the monsters I've brought up on this podcast, and a few that are coming up in future episodes. And I hope to hear more, because your truth is my truth. And on that note, season 3 is just the beginning. You've been listening to Project Black Garden, a Monsters and Myths podcast, season 3, The Lotus Files. Remember, dear listeners, monsters are real. And the deeper the water, the darker the secret.